Yeah.
Okay. So essentially the website itself is called Perkville.com.
Yeah.
So you would basically just like, all I did to get to this point was just Google search www.perkville.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then essentially you would just sign in with, you'd basically just create a login information, kind of like how you did with the MindBody app for scheduling.
Okay.
And really just the only thing to keep in mind is to just use the same email that you logged into your scheduling app with, because that's just what we have you, that's what our system recognizes you at.
Okay.
So that'll be able to kind of link those accounts. But once you put that stuff in, it'll basically prompt you to just kind of go through a couple tutorial screens, just like with the scheduling app. And then it'll kind of just spit you out into this page, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So up here at the top, you can really just see that right now we have for the year 2020, if you refer a friend and they sign up for a membership, you'll get 2,020 points, which equates to a free month of membership. Because we'll get to that, but in the perks over here. But one of the things you can claim if you get up to 2,000 points is a free month.
Okay.
So that's just kind of a little incentive thing for the year 2020. And then kind of scrolling down on this page a little bit here, you can see the point balance right there. So this is how many points I currently have. So that kind of gives you a nice little running total right there. And right here is just kind of your more or less your main menu. So right now we're on the point screen, so you can see the little kind of dark oval around it. And we'll go to the other two for earnings and perks as well. But basically the bottom part right here, this little graphic right here basically kind of tells you that you'll basically just get 25 extra bonus points if you make 10 times or more during the month for sessions.
Okay.
So, and obviously if you're aware of the frequent sweaters board, that's what it is getting those 10 visits in a month.
Oh, okay.
So if you make the frequent sweaters board chalkboard, basically that guarantees that you hit this as well.
Okay.
So that's just a little extra bonus that the frequent sweaters gives you.
Alrighty.
And then the last thing on this page is really just recent activities. So these are basically just like yesterday I did a session. So it says class attended, and then it gave me 5 points. So the thing that you get is if you book online for a session, you get 1 point. So anything you book through the app, you get an automatic point for that.
Okay.
And then once you sign into the session, you get 5 points. I don't know if you remember, but we used to have an iPad where you would check in.
Yeah.
And that's the system that would give you the 5 points. But now that obviously we're a little more touchless right now, the coaches go into the session after and they check everybody in to make sure everybody gets not only attended for, but gets their points as well.
Okay.
And as soon as you basically log into Perkville as well, it'll recognize that you're a new member. So it'll give you a nice 50 points just to start off with. But yeah, basically right here, we'll just kind of show you everything that you've accumulated points for in recent weeks / months. And then we'll just hop over to the earnings tab next. So basically what the earnings tab is it's got this little frequent sweaters board kind of tracker over here as well. But essentially these are basically the points you get for doing the activities listed here. So as we talked about before, referring a friend this year gets you over 2,000 points. Joining the program, basically registering, gets you 50 points. Every time you hit your birthday, you get a 50 points. Basically, once you sign up to be a member, you get 50. Every year on the anniversary of when you became a member, you get a 50, and so on. Things like this is the class attended that we talked about, where you get the 5 points. And then basically for every dollar you spend on supplements and retail, you also get a point. So sometimes that can help people get a pretty nice boost too, especially once we get like new orders of apparel and stuff. Yeah. That'll usually really help your point intake. And then just over to perks. So right here, this basically shows you all the things that you can just kind of redeem with points. So you can get things like a free protein bar for 60 points. You can get protein shakes for 75 points. You can get things like dollars off retail. You can get things like foam rollers. There's a higher purchase off retail right here. This helps with things like apparel. You can get a free t-shirt. Some of the bigger ones down here, like that free month of training we talked about, is just the 200. And then you can also get things like the MyZone belt for 600 as well. And the cool thing about this is that it actually tells you as well how many points are left before you can actually afford that certain item, strictly with points. And then it will also have this little redeem function there. The only tricky thing with redeeming it on your own is that once you hit redeem, it'll subtract the points from your account, and then it'll give you a little slip that you can print out. And it'll basically say that you've redeemed the points, and basically to let either Mel or myself know that you've done so. Because other than that little slip, it doesn't do anything to tell either of us that you've redeemed points.
Okay.
So a lot of people will go in at their own accord and redeem basically a free month. And then the most important step is just making sure that you can even email the slip that it pops up for you, and you can email that to Mel or myself, or you can just email and let us know, or call and let us know that you redeemed it. And then we'll make the proper adjustments for things like that. But yeah, and then really the biggest thing kind of in the gym with points is that we do have a little supplement grab and go sign out sheet that's right next to the protein bars and stuff. There's a little column next to what you're grabbing that's basically how would you like to purchase those things. And you can either basically write card or use points on that, and that'll let us know when we're going back what you wanted to use.
Okay. So you guys can go in and take points out for that too?
Yep. Yeah. This is basically everything I just showed you is the client, basically the client front-facing website. We have our own version as staff members that allows us to go in and kind of see everybody's profile. Claim points for you because sometimes it's more or less just easy for somebody to come in and just grab a protein bar and then just holler over at me or Mel and just say, hey, I'm taking a protein bar, I'd like to use some points. And then we can easily do it from our end as well.
Okay, awesome.
All right, that's pretty much it. The website's pretty, I think it's pretty user-friendly and self-explanatory for the most part. Do you have any questions?
No, like you said, it seems pretty user-friendly, so should be okay.
Yeah, no, I like how it's laid out. It's very organized in the 3 different categories, and then it's very, very clearly mapped out down below.